Hey guys, I hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to Thrive with Stride. And I'm coming to you this morning with some crazy news. Apparently, Virginia Giuffre, who had accused Prince Andrew Pete Drew, of doing some stuff with a minor. That's what she accused him of. And he in turn paid her 12 million pounds, or around there. He paid her with the taxpayers, in my opinion, the taxpayers' money. 12 million his mother gave to him to pay her, because I don't think you pay off people that you don't pay off people that you never met. But apparently Prince Andrew, Pete Drew, I call him, paid her off, and she accused him of all that stuff. And apparently now this lady, Virginia Giuffre, has posted that she only has 4 days to live. She has 4 days to live because she was in a horrific car crash. And this is all that we know right now. A horrific car crash. Okay? And she is in kidney renal failure, and she is at death's door. She has 4 days to live, apparently. And this is now coming now, because you know what I did? I did go and Google it a couple times to make sure, and multiple sources have been saying this, so we know it's true. Something has definitely happened. And I don't know what is going on, but that's what's going on right now. That is what has been said is going on, and I will keep you posted on that. And if this is true, guys, isn't this kind of interesting that somebody who accused somebody in the royal family of something ends up in a horrific car crash, right? It looks very strange to me, judging from what happened to Princess Diana, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Every time that something happens like this, I think about Princess Diana. I don't know why, but it just happens. I think of her and the way that she died horrifically in a car crash after she left the royal family, guys. Anyways, I'm going to move on. So guys, we have been hearing constantly about this Sophie Chandauka lady. Apparently, she has been everywhere, and she did a huge interview on Sky News. And when this lady first started out, it seemed like as she was talking about, the whole board stepping down. But then the story seemed to turn and switch. The story turned and switched onto an all-out attack on Prince Harry and Meghan. That is the long and short of the story. It started out one way. She mentioned Prince Cieso, who is also a founder of the Sentebale charity with Harry. Two of them founded it. And this was all those years ago, almost 20 years ago, right? Both Prince Cieso and Prince Harry founded Sentebale almost 20 years ago, right? But this seems to be an attack on Prince Harry only, because the only person that this Sophie Chandauka, Hammerhead, some people have been calling her that, Miss Hammerhead, the only people that she's talking about is Harry and Meghan. Isn't it interesting that she has just launched into this whole thing about Harry and Meghan? And she started talking about when they had the polo match and all this stuff, because first thing she's talking about is Netflix cameras, because that's a buzzword. That's a buzzword for the haters and all the people, the derangers, the haters, the Royal Rhoda rats, as people call them as well. That's a buzzword. Netflix cameras is a buzzword. Listen, guys, I can tell you so many times that And take a look at this. Doesn't this look a little crazy? Look at this video. This is a video that they have been using. They have been using this video to harass Meghan. Watch this. Doesn't it look a little strange? This video was taken at the polo match where they garnered so many headlines. And of course, remember, because it was on the polo match, that polo series that Archwell was producing, right? This is at that polo match, the polo match that raised millions of dollars, and Harry donated over $1 million of his own money, right? This lady has turned this whole thing into about Harry and Meghan. And as you can see in the video, Meghan was trying to tell the lady, come in the middle. Sophie, don't you want to come in the middle? And this lady and the British press and the press in general, the Murdoch-owned media, in my opinion, they turned this whole little incident, this tiny little thing that happened, into a whole bash Meghan thing. They turned it into that. And they tried to do it when it first happened, because remember that Angela Leviathan, the one that GB News hadn't paid for like 3-4 months, and I haven't heard about her in a while, but then again, I haven't been looking for her. But Angela Leviathan was one of the first people I saw talking about this match, talking about this thing that happened on the stage, right? She was one of the first people that was talking about it. And I was like, what is the big deal? I was like, what is Angela Leviathan talking about? But then she's always talking about something. So and then it didn't go anywhere, because everybody saw it and everybody was like, lady, what are you talking about? Meghan did not do anything here. Meghan did not harass this lady. She was being very kind and gentle with the lady. She said, oh, Sophie, don't you want to come over here? And she was smiling the whole time. Meghan was smiling the whole time, right? But no, for Sophie, that was not good enough for Sophie, apparently. And now this lady has brought this whole thing where Harry and all of the other board members stepped down, including Prince Sieso, which nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about him. It's all about Harry now. Harry and Meghan now. Right? It's all about Harry and Meghan. Right? And so from this whole thing, this is the whole thing. And the lady, she's all over the news. She's all over everywhere. And every time, whenever you Google Harry, the first thing that comes up is all the lies that this woman is telling about Harry. Calling him names, misogyneer. She's saying that he did all this stuff with no evidence and no proof. She's just saying that Harry was this or he was that, or she's just being, I would say, in my opinion, seems like she's using all the talking points that the haters use. She's using all the talking points that the press uses. And now we can't even say just the British press, guys. We have to say the press in general, because a lot of them are using the same language that about a year or two ago was just the British press. But now the American press and the worldwide press are all using the same talking points, and they're pretty much doing the same thing. But in my opinion, guys, this whole thing, unless this Sophie has actual evidence to prove that Harry has been bullying her or whatever, and I know Harry is smarter. Listen, Harry and Meghan are smarter than that. They know that people are always gunning for them. They know that seems like people are always ready to go after them for something. And I know they are smarter than that. Harry would never, in my opinion, put himself and his family in that kind of jeopardy, and he wouldn't put Sentebale in that kind of jeopardy either. Harry hasn't just run one business or one charity in his lifetime. He's also running other stuff as well, right? Invictus Games and all these things. And lo and behold, that's not even the only thing. Apparently, this woman, Sophie Chandauka, she paid from Sentebale, their funds, $600,000 for consultants. Who does that? 600,000 for consultants to find out how can we make the charity better. And then this charity, Sentebale, was started to help children who have HIV and who have contracted it from the time they were babies and all that, and from the time they were born that they had that, right? This charity was for that. Now this lady is trying to change the charity into something else and talking about conservation and talking about other things that isn't what the charity was supposed to be. So the lady is trying to take the charity in a completely different direction. And this is half the reason why they all stepped down. And now there's a whole bunch of new people that came in. And one of the new people, I'm sure you guys know all about this board member is Ian Rawlinson, this board director. And the thing about him is that he has also been on boards with Willie. He is also involved in Willie and like he is a part of Willie's organization type thing. So he is a part of William's group of people that whatever William does. So he is connected with William. And this shows me that this is a whole ploy from William, in my opinion. This whole thing is all about William trying to go after the charities and trying to go after the things that he thinks that he can pick off and run with from Harry, right? So you can see that obviously William and the royal family, they're not giving up. They are not going to let Harry and Meghan live their lives peacefully. They're not going to ever stop. And especially when William is the one in charge, I see he is laser focused on Harry and Meghan. That is his whole thing. His whole thing is Harry and Meghan. That is what he is concentrating on. And another thing that William has done that shows me that all he's thinking about is how can I get back at Harry and Meghan. Apparently, he went on this show from the Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson has some show about farms, right? He apparently has a farm or whatever. So William, instead, like he seems like he beelined his way to this man, Jeremy Clarkson, who has said some horrible misogynistic things about Meghan. He wrote a whole article and put it in actual newspaper, right? Talking about how he would like to see Meghan being dragged through the streets naked, getting feces thrown at her. You all know this, right? We all know it because we talked about it about a year ago or whatever it was, a year or two ago at least by now, right? So this is what this man has written about Meghan. He has a deep-seated hatred for Meghan. He said it. He said that he just sits there and grinds his teeth and thinks about how all the horrible ways in order to humiliate Meghan. This is what this guy has said. He wrote that in his in that thing that he wrote, right? And this is the man that Prince William has decided that, this is the one I want to go on. This is the show I want to go watch. And not only William, Camilla is also friends with this man, because apparently he had lunch with her the day before he wrote this whole article. Apparently. So this is what the royal family are doing. They are picking away. They are seething and angry and jealous and upset that Meghan and Harry are doing well. And the royal family are not going to stop. They're not, because every time that we think, you know what, Harry and Meghan are great, they're doing good, they're doing their thing, we also need to know that the royal family are right up behind them, looking at everything they're doing, checking out everything, and also planning the attacks on them. The royal family are the ones who are attacking Harry and Meghan. It's not this Sophie Chandauka or whatever her name is, that supposed doctor, Chanduaka or whatever the hell her name is. It's not her. She is a pawn in this whole thing. She is not important here. She's not. This is a coordinated attack on Harry and Meghan. Why is it that all of a sudden it's not about Prince Yeso, it's not about all the other board members that stepped down, it's all about Harry, and she brought Meghan into it? Why? What does Meghan have to do with this? Meghan has zero to do with this. And they are using this silly little incident that happened to attack Meghan. And guys, seriously, from the time that this woman came out, from the time that Harry, Prince Yeso, and all the other board members stepped down in solidarity, and she started talking to all the press and getting all this attention on herself and accusing people of misogyny, all these things, bullying, harassment. From the time you hear bullying, you know that's a buzzword. It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword for, and from the time I heard it, I was like, okay, where is she going with this? And I knew it was going to end up being about Harry, and I knew it was going to end up being about Meghan. It's so predictable. Why can't they stop being so predictable? And so now I'm convinced that it's all part of the smear campaign. And apparently, and I could be wrong, but apparently Sophie was on this, she was a part of the organization, a part of Sentebale for a good few years. And then within the last year or whatever, 2 years or something, she was apparently appointed to being the head of the whole thing. So the head of the board or something like that, whatever she was, chairperson, I don't know what the hell she was, because I was trying not to pay attention, to be honest. But it seems to me like somebody got to her. Willie, or in my opinion, Willie or one of Willie's henchmen got to her and whispered in her ear, hey, make some, try to make up something, do something, and another thing too as well, I don't think for 1 second that Harry asked her to say something in defense of Meghan. I don't think that's the case, because Harry and Meghan, I think they know better than to ask anybody to do that. I think, this is what I think, I could be wrong, but this is what I think. I don't think Harry or Meghan would ever ask anybody to do that. I think Harry and Meghan already know who their friends are and people who they can trust. And their friends, you don't have to ask a friend to do that. A friend would say, you know what, let me do the best that I can. They would never do that, because they've been around people. Remember when they were in the palace and all this stuff happened when they were in the palace, right? They know not to trust certain people. That's why their circle is tight. They would have never asked this lady. I don't think for a second, and if I'm wrong, then I'll correct myself. I don't think for 1 second that Harry would ever ask her to do anything, to say anything in defense of Meghan. No, I don't think so. Because, Harry and Meghan's friends, they do stand up and they say things because it's out of the goodness of their heart. Because they want to help her and help him. Because they can see all these attacks that they continuously get every day. I don't believe for one second that Harry ever asked this woman to say anything to defend Meghan. I don't think for one second. And if she thinks that this is what happened, she could have been mistaken. She could have been mistaken, in my opinion. But that's just what I think. I don't know. But yeah, so as far as that is concerned as well, and a lot of people have been saying that it's possible that she did because she is she's in a unique position, I guess. She could have, of course she could have received some and any black woman, any woman of color, usually in any kind of circumstance where they're the boss of things, they all experience some sort of misogyny. They do, especially if you're a black woman. It's even worse, 10 times worse. And I do believe maybe she did feel that way. Maybe something happened and you could, maybe it's possible that something happened and you could lead it back to that. But what you can do is, how about talk about it to the person who you felt that way about, right? Why not talk about it? Why go blasting all over the news and talking about and putting everything on Prince Harry and now Meghan? Why would you do that? It seems to me like she's being used as a pawn, and it's the whole smear campaign. That's what it speaks to me as. That's what I'm thinking it is. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about it, guys. I really didn't want to talk about it much, but there you go. And yeah, so isn't that crazy, the news that we got about Virginia Giuffre? Guys, what do you think of that? Tell me in the comments. And then this whole Sophie Hammerhead business. What is that about, guys? Seems to me she started off one way, and then she started to talk. It started to be one thing, and then it turned into something completely different. It turned into the Bash Harry and Meghan show. That's what it turned out to be, and that's why I don't trust her, because of the whole thing where she's zeroing in on Harry and Meghan. It seems to me like if that's what they fed her to say this stuff, right? It seems to me like she's being used. And it could be by Willie. Willie, your fingerprints are everywhere, in my opinion. Your fingerprints are everywhere in this whole thing. And the fact that your buddy, Ian, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Ian Rawlinson, right? The fact that he has swooped in and now he's a board member. Now that is like, it's not even, guys, it's not even, the way how it happened, it's crazy. And the people have been calling it a hostile takeover, and that's what it looks like, because it is. And I think what Willie is trying to do, he's trying to pick off all of Harry's things that Harry has done over the years. Sentebale, this is like almost 20 years old now. Harry was 19 years old when he started this with Prince Sieso, but of course it's all about Harry. Nobody's mentioning Prince Sieso. Couple people have said that nobody's mentioning Prince Sieso. It's all about Harry now, and now it's all about Meghan, because Meghan is part of Sentebale, and I know she's not, but it just shows you how crazy it has all become. So yeah, guys, that's all I gotta say about it. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do another video, and it's gonna be all about Meghan and all the stuff she's doing, and the fact that she posted something for a Mother's Day. Yesterday was Mother's Day in the European, I guess, in the UK. In the UK, it was Mother's Day yesterday, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who celebrate in the UK. And of course, Meghan, she posted about, and she showed this cake, and apparently it was Harry that baked this cake, guys. It was amazing, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna talk about all that stuff. But I think this needed a video by itself about this Sophie Hammerhead, this doctor, this doctor who's not a real doctor. Because guys, if you get a doctorate of something, don't walk around calling yourself the doctor. Because what if you're on a plane or something and somebody needs a doctor, a real doctor? Like, what are you gonna do? Is there a doctor in the house? And then you put your hand up saying, I am a doctor, but I'm not a medical doctor. Sorry, I can't help. Like, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But anyways, guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to support my channel, you can go over to my Etsy store and you can, I don't know, get something. And if you send me super chats or super stickers, I really do appreciate it. And guys, I will talk to you in the next one. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye.